So today's topic is solitude in spiritual life. So it's what we're trying to present here on a Sunday are just practical things that we can apply in our lives to help us in some way. So we have a lot of responsibilities in life, yeah? We're fathers or mothers, we're wives or husbands, partners, we've got so many responsibilities to so many people. Maybe you're a boss at work or a manager, work colleagues, you've got to work with people. There's just a never-ending list of responsibilities that we take on in our life, just in our day-to-day living. So many responsibilities, and they weigh heavily on our shoulders. Sometimes I see that picture of Atlas, and he's got the world on his shoulders, and sometimes we feel like that, yeah? We've got the whole weight of the world on our shoulders. And it's really important that we spend a little bit of time every day in solitude with these mantras, the holy names. It's like taking a holiday every day. You don't have to get on a plane. I hate planes. They scare me to death. We go taking off, and I'm sure there's nail marks in there. We land, and it's like, oh my gosh, they're landing, and there's no land. I'm always looking for the land. Sometimes you can't see it, and you feel like you're coming down, and there's no land. And it's actually really stressful going on a holiday, isn't it? I find you've got to organise all your stuff, before you go. You've got to organise it so that you can take just a week off. So you're like so flat out for the month or so before you go away. It's like ridiculous, and you go, is this really worth it? By the last day, you're nearly exhausted, you're nearly having cardiac arrest from all the stress. And then you get on the plane, and there's even more stress until you land the other side. And then you have a few days off, and then it's all over. You do it all again. Get back on the plane, and then when you get off at the other end, you've got to catch up on the week you had off. I used to always say, why did I bother taking that week off? I don't feel like I've even had a holiday now. I'm just so exhausted after that first week back. Can we all relate to that, or is it just me? Yeah, I suppose the more responsibilities you have in your job, it's probably going to be worse. But it's like, we really focus on taking these holidays. But I've decided that I don't need to go on holidays anymore. I actually feel really refreshed every day. And people always say, how do you do it? It's really stressful. It is quite stressful running a centre, and you've got a lot of responsibilities. But what keeps me fresh? Having a holiday every day. Every morning, before I get into anything, I get up, I have a shower, and I do my japa meditation. I spend about an hour and a half, at least an hour. An hour is my minimum, but I like to do an hour and a half if I can, where I don't take on those responsibilities yet, and I just rest. This is called Centarasa. Resting in these beautiful holy names, these mantras. So if you do that every day, you'll be amazed how you can get through anything in life. Anything life throws you, you'll be able to get through, because you've got this stable footing. If I don't get up and I don't spend that time in solitude, I'm a mess. I really feel the difference. There's a huge difference between a day where I've just spent an hour doing my meditation to a day where and it happens occasionally, there's an emergency or something, or maybe a teacher's sick and can't come to, and I'm always the default button, so I live a minute down the road, so maybe emergencies come up and I don't do my chanting or my japa every morning, and it's just my day is not the same. So it has become become such a part of my life. It's really important. My son wanted my car the other day, and I go, no. At first I said yes, and he took my car early in the morning, and I went, you just ruined my day, because I didn't get my japa done. So he asked me again. I said, no, you can't have it, not until 10 o'clock or something, till I get everything done. You're not going to come early and get my car, because I've got to drive it up to him and everything. And I I just make sure that I have that time set aside every day without fail. And you can go through anything in life and you're like a warrior. You really are. You're strong. You've got this strength, this unbelievable strength that's coming from within. So I just encourage you to try it for a couple of months and see the difference in your life. I don't know if people here are doing regular japa, but it's great that you come to kirtan regularly, but to make it a part of your life, something that you can do every day, it's important that we spend some of this time that we have in solitude with these mantras, just you and the mantras. If you live with other people, maybe you have to lock yourself in the closet or lock your door or go down the park. It's sometimes we have to get out of our family situation. Quite often I'll leave my phone here. Amit gets really worried about me. I'll leave my phone here and I'll come in at 8 o'clock and pick it up, after I've done my japa. So there's no disturbances. Sometimes your phone calls you, doesn't it? So get rid of the distractions as much as possible and just take some time out in Santarasa and just rest. Rest your minds, rest your weary minds, your weary hearts in these mantras, and you'll be able to take on anything in life. I promise you that. So Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, he described a really wonderful analogy. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada is our grandfather spiritual master. And he described, it's like we need to spend time immersing our mind in the spiritual dimension. Yeah, we're always focused on the material dimension constantly, all day long, all night long, dreams, nightmares, thoughts. And, the more we immerse our consciousness in the spiritual realm, the more our mind, our consciousness starts to take on that spiritual potency. It's just like, he described it like when you put a rod of iron in a fire. If you leave it there, the categories, if you describe an iron rod, it's hard and cold, and you put it in the fire, and if you leave it in the fire for long enough, it takes on the qualities of the fire, so it'll become hot to the touch, and it even becomes soft and liquid if you leave it there long enough. But if you put it in the fire till it becomes hot, then you can start to light fires with it. And it was just a hard, cold rod, but when you've immersed it, submerged it in that fire, then it takes on the qualities of the fire. And our minds, hearts and minds, our consciousness is like that. The more we immerse it in these mantras, the more our hearts and minds will take on these spiritual qualities. And, all the problems in life, we make big deals out of them, and really, they're nothing. When you look at the, eternality, it's forever. And we've got these little problems that last us, a week or two, maybe a few months. And, in the bigger picture, it's like this tiny little thing. We place so much emphasis on our problems in life. But if we just take our mind off our problems and place them in the spiritual realm, you find these problems will become smaller and smaller. And in the end, they won't even be impacting your life. You just go, oh yeah, another problem. Yeah, it'll go. Not a big deal. I don't have to immerse my consciousness in it, because what's going to happen? If you immerse your consciousness in, if you put a rod in the fire, so, if you immerse yourself in your problems, then it's not going to be a good outcome. So we need to immerse our consciousness, our hearts and minds in these mantras and become spiritualized. So we're going to do some japa.
Bring my beads.
Okay, so we've got these nice little half sets. If you want to buy a set, we sell them for $5. Some of our Filipino friends make these. They're made with love, I tell you. Anyone who makes this many beads has got to be loving, because it's a really hard job. Not an easy feat to put a knot between every single bead. So yeah, I congratulate these beautiful friends of ours in the Philippines who make these beads so that we can spiritualize our consciousness. So you've got a head bead at the top, which is going the other way. And traditionally we start on the bead next to the head bead. Now I learnt this well after I started my meditation practice, but you should actually pull the beads towards you as you're doing your meditation. But it's too late for me. It still works. I just cannot do it. I just can't. I get mixed up and I keep turning it the wrong way. But I think it was Sushi Party told me, she goes, "You're going the wrong way." And I go, "I don't think I can change it now. I've done too many rounds on these beads." And I tried really hard, but I just, when you just get into a habit. But at least I've got into the habit of doing my japa. I think, well, at least that's one good thing. So try to get into the right habit if you can. But nobody ever told me that when I learnt my beads. And we start on the bead next to the head bead, and we're going to say a mantra. We're going to say the Maha Mantra, like the one we've been doing tonight, Hare Krishna. You can do Gopala, Govinda, Rama, Madana, Mohana. You can do any of the mantras. But I personally like the Maha Mantra. It starts on Hari and it ends on Hari, and it just goes in this beautiful cycle. So we'll maybe do a half a round because we're running out of time tonight. So it's important to get a rhythm that suits you. Some people are very fast and they can say the syllables clearly, and some people are very slow and they need that time to say the syllables. The main thing is we're hearing the syllable clearly. So if you go too fast, you don't want to be, you don't want to be slurring the mantra, the syllables. You want to hear each syllable clearly. And if you find you go too slow, your mind will start to wander off. So if your mind's wandering, maybe speed it up a little bit. It's a personal form of meditation that we don't usually do in a group, but we're going to do it tonight. And because we've got so many people here, if we're all often doing our own thing, it's going to be hard. And you can go for a walk doing your japa. I personally like to just sit and close my eyes. I find I can focus better. But some people like to walk and they can focus. It's up to you, really. Personal choice there. So you don't have to say it too loud, just loud enough for you to hear. So it can be quite soft. And you can, I know someone will ask me, can I do it in my mind? You can, but it's hard. It's really hard to keep that mantra in your mind. And one of the reasons we use the sense of touch is that we're adding an extra sense. The more we use our senses in our meditation, the more likely our mind will go to where our senses are being used. So we're using, speech, hearing, and we're using the sense of touch as well. So I'm going to say the first two just to get a rhythm. You join on the third, and we'll just go a little way around. I'm sure you get the hang of it pretty quickly. And let's start. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. speed. Just gives you a very little taste of japa. It's very relaxing.